This is DRF Race of the Day. Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF Race of the Day for Saturday, October the 9th, race number 10 at Keeneland. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 1 $750,000 Keeneland Turf Mile, an important prep perhaps for the Breeders' Cup Mile. You can download free Formulator past performances on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with us. We have a Breeders' Cup Mile winner in the field, Mike. That's the 10 Order of Australia, who returns to the scene of his shocking 73-1 win in last year's mile. He likes Keeneland, obviously.
Yeah, he ran well in that race. I guess you could say he's, maybe struggled a bit so far this year, Dan, back home. But boy, has he been running in some tough races over there. It feels like he's in a better spot here.
And he has tactical speed that worked to his advantage in last year's Breeders' Cup Mile. And as we throw up the Timeform US pace projector, you'll note that he can sit close to the pace. Now, some like it. Hot Brown has a lot of early speed. Brown Storm has a good amount of early speed. I think Tell Your Daddy's quick out of there. There's a chance that this pace could be solid to fast.
Yeah, I thought so too. We'll see how it plays out. Unfortunately for some like it, Hot Brown, who does have a lot of speed, he's got a tough post on the outside and he might have to send.
The number one front run, the Fed, a restricted stakes winner at this distance back in 2019 at Saratoga when trained by Chad Brown, was sold for $440,000 over the summer. 2 starts for this barn, both sprinting, both failed to hit the board. Maybe getting back to a mile helps?
I mean, maybe. We'll see. Personally, I've always preferred him going shorter, but things haven't worked out since the private purchase and the trainer change. We'll see if he can get back to one of his good races. It's not like he's, totally hopeless in here, Dan, and he can get the mile, but he's going to be a big price and he's probably going to need some help.
One of the 2 deep closers the Timeform US has notched for this race is the 2 Argentello, who I guess had a little bit of an excuse last time out in the Mint Million, simply because it was his first start since the Keeneland spring meeting. He did run well against allowance horses during the spring meet. He did also get a fast pace in that Mint Million, and he came with a run late, but no match for Pixel 8. He must improve.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I mean, I don't see the race that he's run so far that, makes him a real player in here. If you like him and you feel like there's some reason to expect him to improve in here, he's going to be a huge price.
The number 3, In Love, has won at Keeneland, and he's coming into this race in career form off 2 consecutive victories, including this performance in a division of the TVG Stakes, a restricted event at Kentucky Downs. Now, he popped a 99 Beyer speed figure in this race, Mike. Was it simply pace and trip aided? You see he gets a dream run along the inside.
Yeah, he got a perfect trip in this race right along the inside. He does finish this race off pretty well, Dan. I like the performance from him in here, and it certainly did feel like a step in the right direction for him. I don't know. Maybe he'll improve again. I really respect this trainer. This horse is another one who's going to be a good price in here. So if you really like him, and again, he did run well in this race, you can take a shot here.
If the pace is fast, you must respect the 4 Space Traveler, group winner overseas, now into the tutelage of Brendan Walsh. This will be his 3rd start for the Walsh barn. Let's go back last month to the Woodbine Mile, a race in which he got wired. Town Cruise in sharp form got to the lead in here. Space Traveler tries to get into it on the outside. He's going to eventually get up into 2nd. I thought it was a useful performance. He has competitive speed figures, and he might get the right setup.
He might. I liked him, obviously cutting back to the mile for this race. It felt like the right distance for him. I don't know how I just feel about the race overall, Dad. I don't know how I feel about the performance. He's, very game to get 2nd behind a front running winner, but it just felt like a bunch of horses had the chance to be 2nd in there. He got it. I wasn't thrilled with it, but he does have some back class.
Speaking of front-running winners, Tell Your Daddy. Great job by Tom Morley. Claimed the source for $40,000 earlier this year. Turned him into a graded stakes winner. We swing into the stretch of the Bernard Baruch, but let's note, this is only a 4-horse field, and Tell Your Daddy was able to control a mild pace throughout, sprints on home to win, 101 Beyer, 2nd consecutive triple-digit fig, but might not get the same scenario at Keeneland on Saturday.
Yeah, it feels like it's going to be a lot different this time. Even the Lure 2 back when he ran the 100 Beyer, Dan, that was another slow-paced race where he just sat up close and was 2nd best. Not knocking the job Morley's done with him. Obviously, he's really improved this horse. Morley's on a great run in New York right now. We'll see if he can bring that down to Keeneland with him. This horse is, I guess he's a little bit of a sleeper in this race, Dan, but I prefer other horses, to be honest with you.
Layoff's the big question for the 6 Ivar because he's obviously good enough to win this race. He won this race last year. He also had a prep race going in, and he does not have the benefit of a prep race this year. After he won the Turf Mile last year, I thought he ran just fine in the Breeders' Cup Mile, beaten 2 lengths with an even performance. He made his comeback in a tough spot. That Turf Classic, not only from a class standpoint, he was in against, one of the best turf horses in the country in domestic spending, but also at a mile and an eighth, which just seems a little bit far for him. He didn't run badly. Now he returns with blinkers. He's kind of an X factor in here.
Yeah, he is. I could use him at the right price. I don't know that I would, be thrilled to take the 5-1 morning line on him, considering the layoff. He did run pretty well the last time we saw him, though. I don't think that was a race he had a legitimate chance in, and he did come widest to the stretch in there. I thought he ran fine. His form from last year makes him a contender in here. I don't know how I feel about them putting the blinkers back on. And again, I could use him. I'd have to get the right price.
Pixelate, the number 7, very honest horse for Godolphin. Never have thought of him as a grade 1 type, but he got a big win last time out at Kentucky Downs in the Mint Million. He also got a very fast pace to run at. Let's watch Pixelate's stretch run at Kentucky Downs. They went fast early. You see him second from the left in the Godolphin Blue, and he's going to sweep by Some Like It Hot Brown, a horse that did a lot of work up front.
Yeah, true enough. I mean, not to take anything away from Pixelate, who's a real nice horse, very honest, and shows up every time. But Some Like It Hot Brown is the horse you want out of this race. This pace was fast and contested all the way around. He turned away the favorite in the stretch, and the closers all came. He run second. The closers won 1, 3, and 4. Pixelate ran a pretty nice race here, Dan, but he had all the best of it.
Number 8, Brown Storm, is a Group 2 winner in his native Chile. He has yet to win in North America. We saw the video where In Love won the division of the TVG. Brown Storm cut out a pretty solid pace in that race and finished a decent third. And his prior race was a throwout on dirt in the Grade 1 Gold Cup going 1.25 miles. When he uses his speed, he's capable of going fast. I'm just not sure if he's this type of horse.
Yeah, I'm not either. And I don't think the way that this race projects to play out on the front end, I don't think that helps this horse at all, Dan. I understand that he might be better going forward. I don't see how he's going to deal with a fast pace against this field.
I really don't know how Maker does it. He claimed Monarch's Glen for 62.5. I thought it was just all about over for this veteran. He's now come back. He won a stake at Indiana Grand, 3 back, stakes placed in West Virginia, and third in the Mint Million, the race we saw Pixelate win. But in the Mint Million, it was a race where he got the right setup. Give him a pace, he'll come with a run, maybe a piece at a price.
Right. You saw him in the same replay that we just showed for Pixelate. This horse got a similar trip, sitting it out early, wide through the stretch, could not kick on with Pixelate. He did get along for third at the end, but he was really no factor in there with a good setup. And again, listen, I appreciate the job Maker's done with him, but I feel like it might be just more about placement, Dan, than it is about him really improving this horse.
Order for Australia. Let's watch his 73-1 shocking upset in the Breeders' Cup Mile, and it was shocking. He came into this race off 2 allowance victories overseas, one of them on synthetic. Maybe you want to question the overall quality of the Breeders' Cup Mile field last year, but he sat a good trip because he has tactical speed. He forged by when it counts. He is a Group 2 winner this year, but as you mentioned in the open mic, in his last 2 races, he has faced a couple of the better turf milers in Europe.
Yeah, he has. I mean, and even that field that we just watched in the Breeders' Cup, I get that maybe it wasn't a vintage Breeders' Cup Mile field, but it was still a good field and it was better than this one. And it was, surprising or not, he still ran the race that he ran to beat them all. I actually feel like his form this year is pretty good. I love his running style for this race. He has speed, but he doesn't need the lead. He's really been banging heads with some top milers over there, and I think he's been holding his own, Dan.
Thought his last race was very good. He broke very sharp, and then he allowed a pace setter, a runaway pace setter, to make the lead. He settled in a very loose pocket, and he was just no match for the odds-on winner, who's a very sharp horse, but he ran on for second, and he seems to be coming into this race the right way. Diamond Oops, the question for Diamond Oops is the mile. He was second in this race in 2019. He ran very well behind Longshot Bowie's Hero, but these connections have mostly concentrated on keeping him sprinting, whether dirt or turf. His last race at Kentucky Downs, the race we'll show you right now, their turf sprint at 3/4 was a good effort. First start off a 2.5-month layoff. He stayed close to the pace. He finishes second behind a horse that was dirtied up coming in, Gear Jockey, and the 8th horse would come back to run third in a graded with a 95. He's an honest horse. I'm not sure about the mile.
Yeah, I'm not either. He did run pretty well in this race. I like this performance. He's game only second best in here, but game to get it. And it felt like a step in the right direction for him. The mile is the question, as you've already mentioned. 2 years ago, he ran bang up in this race where they used his speed. He went forward, just got run down at the end, but that was a nice performance. If you can run something like that, he can get a piece of this.
Maker also has Field Pass in here, a multiple graded stakes winner. One of those graded wins came at Keeneland back in 2020. That was the Transylvania against fellow 3-year-olds. He found a great spot and he got a great trip 2 starts back when winning a grade 3 at Pimlico. Last time out, just didn't too tough in the 4-star Dave.
Yeah, he was Justin too tough in that race. They found the right spot for him, 2 back, to pick up another graded stakes win for him. I actually felt like each of his first 3 starts off the layoff, Dan, first 3 starts as a 4-year-old, I thought he ran fine in all of those races. They were all, pretty fast paces against very strong fields. I thought he ran pretty well. I've never been a huge fan of this horse, but I do think he's improved as a 4-year-old.
And I don't think anyone should sleep on the 13, Some Like It Hot Brown, because this is a very underrated New York bred trained by Maker. Graded stakes winner this year. 2 back in the Wise Dance, set a legitimate pace, run down late by a sharp horse and set piece. And we saw the Mint Million that Pixelate won. He did all of the dirty work. He was still punching on at the end. If he gets to the lead and gets loose, as Timeform US thinks there's a chance, he's going to be tough to run down.
Yeah, he is. His form is very good right now. Again, I really do think he's the horse you want out of that last race at Kentucky Downs. He did all the hard work up there, and I thought he just took a really tough beat at the end of that race. If he had a better post, Dan, I probably would have put him on top. I don't know how hard they're going to have to use him to clear from the outside, but I'm definitely using this horse, and I could have put him on top.
Top pick time for the Saturday race of the day. The Keeneland Turf Mile will go with last year's Breeders' Cup Mile winner, Order of Australia. He has the class. He has the tactical speed. Mike, you like Some Like It Hot Brown? I think they're just going to send him out there and hope for the best. He went fast last time and he held on. He might do it again.
Yeah, he might. I'm afraid of him. I really stayed towards the outside with my picks, Dan. I like 10 and 13 the most. I just feel like as far as Order of Australia goes, I mean, this is a good field, but it's not, we've seen better editions of this race, to be sure. I just feel like they might have found the right spot for him once again.
I have a feeling Ivar is going to be ready to rumble off the layoff, and I think he might be the dangerous late thread in here. I'll go 10-6-5-4. Mike's going 10-13-11-6. It's your Saturday race of the day, the Keeneland Turf Mile. Good luck.